Can you get a lean and muscular body while still enjoying alcohol? Let's find out! Let me guess, you want to get ripped, but at the same time you don't want to give up on your social life. Well, here's the thing. For most people, alcohol is part of having a social life. And if you're like most people, then I'm sure you want to be able to have a few drinks every now and then. Especially during events such as parties, dates, birthdays, and vacation and so on. Well, the good news is that you can. You see, alcohol won't interfere with muscle growth, neither will it stop fat loss as long as you are structuring your day correctly, while also drinking smartly and in moderation. So stay tuned, because in this video I'm going to cover why moderate alcohol consumption isn't negative to your physique and also how you can fit alcohol into your fitness plan. Okay, so here's the thing. If you want to successfully stay lean for good, then you must enjoy the lifestyle supporting your physique. If you're not enjoying it, then you won't stay fit long term. You see, the more you obsess and stress about your workouts and diet and so on, the more likely you are to screw up. But once you learn how to blend your fitness plan into your lifestyle, then the journey gets much more rewarding. So don't be afraid to go out and have a few drinks a couple of times per week. In fact, letting go and having fun every now and then will only bring you more happiness and further motivation to continue doing your workouts and following your diet during the weeks and months. I believe wholeheartedly in the 80-20 rule of fitness, where 80% of life should be made up of solid habits supporting your fitness goal, and the remaining 20% can simply be letting go of these habits and just enjoying yourself. You see, what's important to realize is that it doesn't have to be a trade-off. You don't have to choose between going out and having abs or eating the occasional junk food and getting in shape. In fact, what's the point of getting in incredible shape if you can't enjoy having the physique anyways? That's just crazy in my opinion. So again, if you want to get and stay fit long term, your fitness plan should be part of your lifestyle. It should not take over it. And this includes being able to drink alcohol if you so choose to. Okay, so what you're about to learn now applies to moderate alcohol consumption only. If you're getting completely wasted every weekend, then it just says itself, your results will suffer. But if you stay within certain boundaries, which we'll look at in a moment, then you can enjoy alcohol without any problems. So I'm going to walk you through a list of scientific facts which demonstrates that moderate alcohol consumption is entirely possible both for building and maintaining a fit and strong physique. Okay, so fact number 1 is that you will only gain fat if you are in a calorie surplus. There's no way around this fact. More than 50 years of research support that fat gain or loss in the end comes down to calories in versus calories out. If you take in more calories than you burn, then you will start gaining fat. If you take in less calories than you burn, then you will start losing fat. And here's the deal. Alcohol contains 7 calories per gram. This means that as long as you fit your alcohol calories into your total daily maintenance calories, then you won't gain fat from drinking alcohol. It's that simple. To demonstrate this more clearly, here's a comparison image of a day of non-drinking and a day of drinking for a person who maintains body weight at 2,600 calories per day. As you can see, as long as this person consumes fewer carbs and fats on the day of drinking, then those calories can go towards alcohol consumption instead, without fat gain. Fact number 2 is that moderate drinking does not impair muscle growth. Okay, so while drinking excessively will affect muscle growth and strength development negatively, moderate drinking seems to be fine. In fact, in this research paper, they saw that moderate alcohol consumption does not impair overload-induced muscle hypertrophy and protein synthesis. Okay, so fact number 3 is that a moderate intake of alcohol actually have health benefits. This is a bit surprising, at least it was to me, but moderate alcohol consumption is supported by many studies to be associated with all kinds of health benefits, such as improved insulin sensitivity, lowered triglyceride concentrations, and improved glycemic control. Not only that, studies also actually consistently show that moderate drinkers live longer than non-drinkers because of a lowered risk of cardiovascular disease. Furthermore, it's been shown that alcohol can contribute to a healthier and disease-free life by protecting against arthritis, metabolic syndrome, Alzheimer's disease, the common cold, different types of cancer, depression, and many other welfare diseases. Surprisingly, there seem to be more benefits of being a moderate drinker than being a zero drinker. However, remember that this only applies when drinking in moderation. If you were to go further than moderate consumption rate, these benefits can quickly turn into negative effects on your health and physique instead. And the point where alcohol consumption goes from healthy to unhealthy seems to be when you go from being tipsy to being drunk. And this is where the problem often arises with alcohol. Anyone who's been tipsy knows how hard it usually is to just stop drinking when it just feels like the night is just about to begin. Okay, so this ties into fact number 4, which is that getting drunk will be negative for your physique. Just as I said, getting drunk is not only negative for your health, it's also negative for your appearance and performance. It's been shown that once you pass into the realm of being drunk, then your muscle protein synthesis shuts down, meaning you will build less muscle during this time. In fact, one study actually found that consuming around 120 grams of alcohol, which is roughly 10 beers, reduces testosterone with as much as 23% for up to 16 hours post-consumption. And not only that, getting drunk either means that you will consume far above your maintenance calories for the day, which means you will gain fat, or you will have to steal large amounts of calories from carbs and fats, which means you're providing your body with very poor energy for all of its system to work optimally, which further reduces your muscle protein synthesis. So in short, getting drunk is negative, period. So don't do that. Okay, finally, fact number 5 is that drinking excessively provides no value. You see, by drinking moderately, you will have all the benefits of alcohol without compromising your physique or health. It's at this point that you will feel euphoria, relaxation, a sense of well-being, joyfulness, and you will enjoy conversations. Furthermore, a moderate intake of alcohol is an effective de-stressor, and it's also been shown to reduce feelings of depression and self-consciousness. So overall, drinking in moderation will actually give you more benefits than what it takes from you. It's only when you drink excessively that alcohol turns into something negative. So with that said then, what's an excessive alcohol intake? Well, let's look at that. Okay, so as we have learned so far, if you want to enjoy alcohol without compromising your physique and health, you must learn to drink moderately. And in order to learn this, you must understand why you want to drink in the first place. You see, most people go out and drink alcohol to dance, party, or socialize and so on. They're going to hit the bars and clubs with friends, talk and connect with people, and just have a fun evening. Now, used in this way, alcohol isn't bad. The problem arises when people either use alcohol to mask their insecurities or escape from reality, both of which used to be problems for me. First of all, I was a very shy kid growing up. During high school, I had to rely on alcohol to even dare to socialize with people. When I was drinking, I could blame all of my behaviors on alcohol. So it felt less scary if, God forbid, I would screw something up. And secondly, I used alcohol to flee from all the boiled up bad feelings that I had inside of me. If you have watched my story video, then you know that I battled with depression during my teenage years. Anyway, the moral of the story is that you shouldn't hide behind alcohol. If you want to drink, do it in moderation, just to loosen up a bit, not because you need to depend on it. If you feel that you're using alcohol in the wrong way, my best tip then would be to study yourself and find ways to improve in the areas that you might need it the most. Eventually, you will come to a realization where you don't need to use alcohol in a negative way anymore. Having the self-confidence that alcohol provides while actually being sober, that is the true goal in my opinion. Okay, so now that we have covered the physiological and psychological facts surrounding alcohol and building a lean and muscular physique, let's finally look at the step-by-step drinking guide for staying ripped. Okay, so what follows now are the steps you need to take if you want to be able to enjoy alcohol while staying ripped in the process. If you follow these steps, I promise that you will be able to enjoy nights out while seeing amazing results in the meantime. Okay, so step 1 is to save up on a calorie buffer to make room for the alcohol. There are 2 things that you can do here, and they work best if you do them in combination. The first one is to, on the day that you are supposed to be drinking, Reduce your intake of fat and carbs a bit, and also try to get the bulk of energy from protein. This is done by having mostly vegetables and lean protein sources early in the day. And secondly, utilize intermittent fasting. By skipping breakfast and possibly even lunch, you will create a large buffer of calories to spend both eating and drinking in the evening. Remember that it all comes down to calories in versus calories out, and intermittent fasting will certainly help you buffer most of your calories so that you can enjoy yourself as much as possible. Okay, so step 2 is to avoid alcohol sources that are rich in carbohydrates. When you go out to drink, try to avoid drinks that include fruit juices, sugary sodas, and also try to avoid beer. These kind of drinks contains a lot of carbs on top of the alcohol, meaning that the calorie content increases very rapidly if you drink these kind of drinks. For example, one heavier type of beer typically contains around 200 calories. And if, let's say, you are maintaining your body weight on 2,600 calories per day, then already at 2.5 drinks, you will land at 20% of your total calorie intake for the day, which I recommend as like the limit of junk food consumption, and this includes alcohol. So instead, try to mostly drink dry wines, which are very low in carbs. Drink whiskey, vodka, tequila, scotch, gin and cognac, and all this includes basically zero carbs. Now, if you don't want to drink these straight, then drink them with diet soda, as this will add 0 calories basically. But finally, also remember that you don't need to be super neurotic about this. Drinks should be enjoyed after all. Just be aware that there are better and worse choices out there when it comes to your physique. Okay, so step 3 is to drink in moderation. Just as we talked about earlier, avoiding getting to the point where you become excessively drunk. Because when that happens, it's typically easier to lose judgment of your actions, and not only will you have an easier time saying fuck it and just eat it all, it's also normal that when we are getting drunk, our hunger signals get all messed up, causing us to overeat on junk food that we don't actually need. In fact, the beliefs such as alcohol makes you fat and so on are often just made up because people typically indulge in all the junk they see when drinking because of a loss of judgment, not because of the alcohol directly. Usually people start to tip over into the drunk realm somewhere between 3 to 5 normal sized drinks depending on body size, but it's hard to give any concrete recommendations on the amount you should consume. But around 3 to 5 drinks are usually on the top end. Okay, so step 4 is to avoid eating late at night. Again, the problem with drinkers is what happens after all the alcohol. Burger King or McDonald's are the usual go-tos, at least here in Sweden where I live. And of course, if you've been slamming down 5 drinks and then push down another 700 to 1000 calories of burgers on top of that, you're going to gain weight. So for this reason, I recommend that you avoid after drink snacking. You see, even if you are having calories left in your budget, it's extremely easy to get tempted to eat more when you're feeling drunk. A much better option if you need something to eat at this point would be to have some filling snacks such as a fruit or a protein bar ready to be eaten. This usually reduces your cravings and will help get some of your judgment back. So if you follow these guidelines that I just discussed, you can have a few nights out every now and then without having to worry about gaining fat or ruining your physique. In fact, if you do it right, you might even be able to lose fat during these days as well. It's something that I've done and been successful with many times throughout my own fat loss phases. Just remember though, drink responsibly or alcohol will quickly become negative for your health and your physique.